from hotspotting.com.au. Recently I did a post which talked about what's happening with property prices across the nation, because the most recent data from CoreLogic shows that all 8 capital cities and all 7 state and territory regional jurisdictions have shown price growth in the past 3 months, which is a situation we haven't seen any time in the last 5 or 6 years. I just want to follow up on that because there's new price data out today from Research, and I particularly want to focus on Brisbane because increasingly Brisbane is standing out with each publication of the latest information on what's happening with prices. According to Research, Brisbane's annual growth rate for house prices is now up to above 6% in the past year, and in the past month, according to Research, it's risen a further 2%. So every week, Research publishes its housing indexes for prices and for rents, and with each passing week, the growth rate for Brisbane gets higher and higher, and it's starting to become quite significant in annual terms. I think there are solid reasons for this. Many people over recent years, during which Sydney and Melbourne have been booming, have forecast that Brisbane will follow suit. And I think they were simply assuming that Brisbane will follow the biggest cities. But until recently, Brisbane hasn't had the growth drivers that existed in Sydney and Melbourne, but that is now changing. We're now starting to see that reflected in the data. The underlying economy has improved. The big thing that was missing, which was big spending on infrastructure, that's changing. We're now seeing some big projects starting to crank up across Brisbane, and that's creating economic activity and jobs, and that starts to flow through to residential property markets. The population data increasingly is favouring Queensland, particularly net interstate migration, and most of what comes into Queensland goes to southeast Queensland, including Brisbane. So all of those factors, including the fact that vacancies, which were previously high in Brisbane, are now down to acceptable levels and trending downwards, are all starting to work in favour of the Brisbane property market, both for houses and apartments. So we're now starting to see lower vacancy rates as a result of that. According to the SQM figures out this week, house prices for rentals and also apartment rentals are rising at quite strong levels, and that's starting to translate into increasingly high rates of growth for Brisbane house prices, up 6.2% in the last 12 months, according to SQM Research report out today. So Brisbane is now becoming a contender at long last, and it's timely for us because we've just published our latest edition of the Top 5 Brisbane Hotspots report. To get yourself a copy, go to the hotspotting.com.au website, and you'll find it available there under Investor Reports, in which we show the 5 areas that we think are going to show the most uplift, taking a medium to long-term view. But they're all parts of the market we think have got growth drivers now. It's going to take people and property there forward into the medium and long term. If you've got any questions, drop me a line on Ryder at hotspotting.com.au. I'd be happy to hear from you and answer your questions if I can. That's it for now. Talk to you again soon.